Today I'm going to talk about the muscles of the posterior compartment of the forearm one by one. Today I will mainly focus on the origin, insertion and the action of these muscles. There are 12 muscles in the posterior compartment which are subdivided into two main groups, that is superficial group and deep group. In the superficial group there are 7 muscles and in deep group there are 5 muscles. The superficial muscles, all the superficial muscles get originated from the lateral epicondyle of humerus, and except two muscles. First muscle is brachioradialis and extensor carpi radialis longus. These two muscles get originated from the supracondylar region of the humerus. Let's talk about the origin and insertion as well as the action of the unconeus muscle. Unconeus muscle is the triangular in shape and is very small muscle. The unconeus muscle get originated from the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and it is inserted to olecranon process of ulna. Look, the ulna has the two processes. The superior process is called the olecranon process and the inferior process, that is called the coronoid process. In between two processes there is a notch that is called trochlear notch, and the action of this muscle is the extension of the elbow joint, like this. This is the extension of the elbow joint. Means here you see that it crosses the elbow joint. Now come to second muscle, that is brachioradialis. The brachioradialis originate from the supracondylar region, from here, and goes down radially and is inserted to the stellate process of radius. The lower part of the radius has a process that is called the stellate process, where this muscle is inserted. And the action of this muscle is the first action is the flexion of the arm, and the second action is when the muscle is in the mid-prone position. Mid-prone position means when the arm and the forearm makes the 90-degree angle. In the mid-prone position, it helps in the supination, like this. When the radius and ulna are parallel each other, that means supination. And when they cross each other, these two bones cross each other, that's called pronation. That means this muscle helps in the supination as well as pronation. Now come to third muscle, that is extensor carpi radialis longus. Extensor, it means that helps in the extension. Carpi means it crosses the carpal bones, and radialis, it goes radially, and longus, it means it gives the long tendon. Let's see this muscle, how it originates and inserts. It originates from the supracondylar region and goes radially and gives the long tendon which inserts to the base of the second metacarpal. And let's talk about the action. This muscle help in the extension of the hand at wrist joint, like this, is the extension, and the abduction of the hand at wrist joint. Now come to the fourth muscle, that is extensor carpi radialis brevis. Why extensor? It helps in the extension. Why carpi? It crosses the carpal bones. And radialis, it goes radially. And brevis means it gives the short tendon. Let's see. It originates from the lateral epicondyle of humerus, like this. And goes radially, and it gives the short tendon which is inserted to the base of the third metacarpal. And what is action? It helps in the extension of the hand at wrist joint, and also abduction of hand at wrist joint, like this. Extension is like this and abduction is like this. The another muscle is extensor digitorum. Why extensor? It helps in the extension. And why digitorum? Digitorum means this muscle goes to digits, means this muscle goes to fingers. Let's see this muscle. It originates from the lateral epicondyle of humerus. And this muscle gives the single tendon first, and then in the hand this tendon gives the 4 tendons which are inserted to bases of second to fifth middle phalanges. These are the bases of the middle phalanges where these tendons get inserted. The main action of this muscle is extension of the fingers. Now the sixth muscle is extensor digiti minimi. Digiti means finger, and minimi means little finger, means this one. Where it originates? It originates from the lateral epicondyle of humerus again. And gives the tendon which goes down and is inserted to intermediate phalanx and the distal phalanx of little finger. The action of this muscle is extension of the little finger, means this action, extension of little finger. Now another muscle is extensor carpi ulnaris. Is the extensor muscle and crosses the carpal bones. Ulnaris means it goes medially. I will show here. It originates from the lateral epicondyle of humerus and goes ulnar side, means on medial side. And here it gives the tendon which goes down and is inserted to base of fifth metacarpal here. The action of this muscle is adduction of the hand, like this. This is the abduction of the hand. This is the adduction of the hand. Adduction of the hand. First action is adduction of the hand at wrist joint, and the second action is extension of the hand at the wrist joint, like this. Now come to deep muscles. The first muscle in deep muscles is supinator muscle. Supinator muscle is also a small muscle. It originates mainly from the lateral epicondyle, and is inserted to upper shaft of the radius. This is the upper shaft of the radius where it is inserted. And the action of this muscle is supination. So the name is supinator. How? This is the supination. When the elbow is extended, this is the supination, and this is the pronation. This muscle helps only in the supination. Now, second muscle, the abductor pollicis longus. Abductor means it indicates the abduction, and pollicis means thumb, and longus means it gives the long tendon. Let's see. It originates from the posterior surfaces of the shaft of the radius and ulna, like this. From the posterior surface of the shaft of the radius and ulna, it originates and gives the long tendon which is inserted to base of first metacarpal. The action of this muscle, it helps in the abduction and extension of the thumb. Let me see this. This is the abduction of the thumb. This is the abduction of the thumb. This is adduction of the thumb. And this is flexion of the thumb. This is the extension of the thumb. So we can say this muscle, abductor pollicis longus, helps mainly in the abduction of the thumb, like this, and the extension of the thumb, like this. The another muscle, extensor pollicis brevis, means extensor means helps in extension, pollicis means thumb, and brevis means small, it gives the small tendon. Let's see this muscle while it is present. It originates from the shaft of radius, or we can say it originates from the posterior surface of shaft of radius, like this. And it gives the short tendon, that's why it's called Brevis. It gives the short tendon which goes down and is inserted to proximal phalanx of thumb. That's why it's called Pollicis. So we can say it originates from the posterior surface of the radius and it is inserted to base of proximal phalanx of thumb. The action of this, which indicates the extension of thumb, like this. This is the extension of the thumb. This is the flexion. This is the extension. Sorry. The next muscle is extensor pollicis longus. Extensor means extension, pollicis means thumb, and longus, it gives the long tendon. Let's see this muscle. It originates from the posterior surface of ulna bone. Posterior surface of the ulna bone, like this. Here it gives the long tendon which goes down and is inserted to base of distal phalanx of thumb. So the action is like this. Look, this is the thumb, this is the distal phalanx here. This is the flexion of distal phalanx. If I do like this, this is the extension of the distal phalanx. So this muscle, extensor pollicis longus, helps in the extension of the distal phalanx. Another muscle, that is extensor indicis, which is the last muscle. Indicis means this muscle goes to index finger, means this one. It originates again from the posterior surface of shaft of ulna. Here is the posterior surface of shaft of ulna. Here it originates, and here it gives the tendon. A tendon goes down, which is inserted to middle phalanx of index. And this muscle helps in the extension of the index finger, like this, at metacarpophalangeal joint. Look. Here is the metacarpal, it's the metacarpal, and this is the phalanx. The joint between them is called the metacarpophalangeal joint. At this side, this muscle helps in the extension. We can say this muscle helps in the extension of index finger at metacarpophalangeal joint. Hope you understood well. See you in next video. Thanks.